Vinay, just to explain to our viewers, once the voting is done, all of the EVMs are then sealed and moved into a strong room and not opened until the morning of the election.
Yes,
of the voting, counting, I beg your pardon.
Yes. So there is a special cloth which is ordered in bulk. It's called markin ka kapda. That's what is used to wrap it.
Yes.
And lakh, which is used to put the seal on with the government seal. That's the official process of sealing, which has to be undone in the presence of the election agents of all the candidates. And that's what you see on the screen, that they're removing first the seal on the lock of the strong room. All the EVMs will then be taken out to the counting stations. The RO will sign on it, where he's counted the machines and checked and tallied it against the sheet that he has or she has. And then they will open these EVM seal and that marking ka kapda in the presence of the election agents. That's the process. Once that happens, also remember the first trend that comes in is almost usually the postal ballot. So that's the first thing that is actually counted. Not every state will have many of them, but if there are some postal ballots in some constituency counting centers, that's the first thing that is counted, and then begins the process of the EVM counting.
And I'm told that each lock has 2 keys.
That's correct.
Yes.
It's a set of 2 keys, and 1 key remains with X person, and key 2 is left with another. So that no lock can be opened unless the seal is broken in presence of people, and after that the 2 keys match.
That's correct.
So it's a wonderful arrangement. That total security care has been taken. So I don't think there is any room to believe that there would be hera-fairy in the voting.
Yes, and in fact, just watching the way elections are conducted in this country is a joy in itself. The massive, the security, the entire process of how we do it sets an example for many countries across the world. Even though there were a few questions about EVMs going into this election as well in Madhya Pradesh, the Congress brought it up. We don't normally see a party sort of complain about EVMs until after they know whether they're won or lost. But how grave did you think those complaints were?
Well, there were about 4 instances. In one instance, there was a visual of EVMs being found inside a hotel room for polling officials. There was another instance where a school bus which was being used to ferry the EVMs from the polling station to the counting center was found parked somewhere else and way after the time it was supposed to reach. Now, the EC has given explanations for both, in the sense that the EVMs that were recovered from the hotel, the EC claimed that they were reserve EVM machines and they were not the machines that were actually used for polling. And in the second case, they, I think, took the reason of the breakdown of a bus or whatever. So there were explanations being given. Definitely, yes, it's true. There were 3 or 4 instances which were unusual. Because there is what I told you right at the start is actually the process on paper. There are some deviations that happen and clashes happen. People disagree. There are arguments. All kinds of things happen, which is why counting sometimes starts late in certain counting stations, because a lot of election agents object to certain things.